Join me as we visit the Antrim Truck stop and chat with Mark Reeder, the manager of the food operations here.
All arrows on the floor, no one listen to. Service going now and see the kitchen. This is staff area, where all the servers work. Just through this hole is our open kitchen. Down here is our prep area, where all the prep cooks get ready for the busy week. So lots of people down there normally. We've got our freezers. In here for our bakers. Oven proofers for the bread, and then your convection ovens for all the bakers. The walk-in cooler. My name's Mark Reeder, 42 years old. I'm obviously not Canadian, I'm English. I've been in the industry for 26 years now. I started as a chef and sort of worked my way up in the cooking world. Realised I wanted to do more than that, so I wanted to get into the service side, and I always started at the bottom and worked myself up. I just believe experience in this industry is very important. So I worked my way up in the service, and then I started managing. For the last 15 years I've been in high management roles, operations manager, food and beverage manager, basically just working on a reputation. To get to this point here, I'm at Antrim for a year now. It's been a long year, but it's been very rewarding, like the whole industry in itself.
Okay, Mark, so you've been here at Antrim for a year. Thanks for taking the time to talk. So my question that I'd like you to answer for the class is, after the cost of goods, the cost of food, what does an operator or a chef or a manager need to think about or focus on when they're thinking about running their business?
Yeah, that's for me. I've learned very quickly that the simpler you keep things, in the sense of don't overdo it. And for me there's three components, potentially a fourth, and this is what you've got to think in. So we know a food cost is a controllable cost. You control the pricing, you control the design, the layout, and the wastage. So the food cost is obviously one of them. The other controllable, which is the big one for me, is labour. The labour cost, making sure that you're staffed right, having a realistic budget and a realistic profit margin, because they're the only two ones you can control in the business. The third one is more of a fixed cost, which is overheads, as you know. The overheads, they go up and down a little bit, but they'll have no way the impact it does on the food cost and the labour cost. It stays the same, even during these times in COVID. Our sales gone down by 30%, but the operating costs have stayed the same. So we have to figure in that that's going to go up, but the other two are probably going to go up as well. So it's really important that you try and manage these to manage it in. And the fourth one is controllable for yourself if you keep the food cost and the labour in check. If you don't keep those two in check, then the business will spiral right out of control. So for me, if you get the food cost right, the labour right, and you get the overheads, you know what your overheads are, then that will give you gross profit. And for me, it is as simple as that. We can make it harder, but I always try and teach my staff, because I struggled here at the start. Not a lot of people had understanding of that. It was just do what you want and it'll come round and it'll be okay, but we wasn't doing okay. And that's the harsh fact of the matter is, even the bakery department we run, a lot of people thought about shutting it down because it was doing that bad. And now by controlling those two and the overhead staying the same, we're literally doing okay. So that's one of the main things. That's the main thing basically. But for me as well, it's with the labour that we say about the staffing costs, but it's how you manage a team, and you need staff to do the work. Like, they're not going to do it if they don't respect you. They're not going to work for you or do the cooking or do the dishes or work 60 hours like me. It's just, in this industry you work a lot, but for me it's making sure that your staff understands why you're doing this. Not just tell them to do it, because you're not going to get any respect that way. I refer to it like a battle scene. If the staff know you are going to go into battle with them, they're going to fight for you. If they know you're going to hide and just don't do your job, they won't battle for you. So for me, the 4 principles of business is what we said, the costs, but the staffing for me is also up there. I think I honestly believe that the restaurant world has changed forever, not just the next year or two. And I don't just mean this industry, I'm talking every industry in the world is going to change. It's a 100-year pandemic, and no one's been through it before, so no one can really predict. A lot of my work has been guesswork, because I'm not 100 years old. It's as simple as that. But the restaurant industry, the good thing about the restaurant industry is people always need to eat. And I think with people being in lockdown for 3 months, it has brought people out because they were just happy to get out. There's also a lot more rules and regulations, like the masks and the sanitising, the 50% restaurant, like to plan for the reduced capacity, and to maximise the actual sales. But the next year I think is going to stay the same as we are today. We're going to be, I think we'll be at 50% up until January. I think we'll see more eases spring next year. That's what I'm hoping, to be honest, because we're doing okay. We're not losing money. However, we need to be 100% open to make sure we're getting 100% gross profit, but maximum gross profit. So for me, the next year is going to be tough, and I fear for the smaller ones. The ones, we're lucky at Antrim because we've got 180 seater restaurant. We just add another 24 seats, and we've got the space to actually physically distance. I just feel sorry for the ones that are in the local towns, the small pubs and the restaurants, and that can only get 10 tables, because I just don't see how they can survive. It astounds me how they can keep open, and they're probably the true winners rather than me, because they're the ones keeping a little business open. Well, I'm slightly luckier. I've got a bigger business, more staff, more footfall to work on. So I foresee the next year can be a tough one.